out a little bit of the magic from what they did last year and kind of hit some of the same notes?
I think when we get to it, but I think first and foremost right now is Arizona State. So when that game presents itself, we'll do the things necessary to put ourselves in a position to win the game.
You think you'll talk to your guys about it at all?
When it presents itself. But again, the most important thing right now is winning the game against Arizona State. But when that comes about, of course, you talk about it, you watch film, and again, you give yourself the best chance to win the game. Yeah.
Has this year at all reminded you of your first go at Tennessee in SEC play? Because you started with, I think, the same record.
Well, I think the thing is what it reminds you of when you're going through something, because it's hard to know guys until you're actually in the trenches. Because when you're playing against each other, you see guys, but all of a sudden when you hit adversity, that's when you start to grow, and that's when you learn who you are as a team and as a program, how you fight through things, how you handle adversity, how you get out of situations, how you overcome them as a team. But in the process, you want to continue to get better. And I think that's the biggest key. But I think everything is different. Every situation is different because there are different young men that are involved. So there are different challenges that present themselves.
What have you really learned, going through the trenches with those guys?
I think they want to be good. The guys want to be good players. They continue to work hard. And again, I've said it before. Probably the team that has worked the hardest off the court on individual skill that I've ever been around as a collective group. Now I've been whether you have 3 or 4 guys, but not as many as this group where they consistently. I mean, even the guys that are walk-ons, they put so much time into it. So for me, that's great as a coach. But again, just dealing with it, going through it, and sometimes when you're getting better, you don't see it if you come up short in an actual game. But I see the guys are making progress. They're competing. They learn how to play amongst each other, with each other. And again, sometimes your best lessons are going through adversity. You have to deal with it and continue to grow and move forward.
What do you remember from first time doing SEC play at Tennessee? Kind of getting off to a rough start, but then it looks like things.
Well, I think what happens when you're taking over a program, there are new things. It's not like you know your personnel. It's one thing in knowing your personnel. Sometimes you can get lucky and things are rolling. You have situations in place. And I think our guys get off to a good start, play well together. And I think when Jabari went down, not to say that's the reason why you hit a rough patch, but we had just enough to keep our parts intact to have success. And when you have a key part like that goes down, then all of a sudden other guys are asked to do things they're not consistently doing with X amount of minutes, and that becomes tough, because certain guys grow into certain roles. All of a sudden you had guys thrust into certain roles they weren't ready for at the particular time, but again, had to learn some lessons the hard way, but I think they've grown from it. But again, every situation is different. Like for me as a coach, it's different. You're playing 2 home games, three home games, 2 road games. So that's a different dynamic. The preparation time, how do you practice Thursday, Saturday? So all those things are different.
How have you utilized this 7 days since you guys last played?
It was kind of going back to the basics and stuff we normally do: passing, jump stop, taking care of the basketball. Getting Jabari acclimated back into the lineup. For some of the things he normally do, you run certain plays for him. So those are plays that you didn't have in your package with him being out. So now you have another guy that's a perimeter threat, and for him it's just his conditioning, getting him where he's up and down the floor. So that part has been good having him back out there. But just the basics, I've always done that, whether you're winning games or losing games. Whenever you have this type of stretch, I've always tried to spend a lot of time on going back to the basics. And sometimes, even in wins, you lose sight of some of those little things.
What do you see in Arizona State? Have you had a chance to look at it?
Yes. Good team. I mean, just 9-9, had some a lot of close losses. They finally got that win at home against Colorado. They played well as a team, shot the ball well. And you can see it in spurts with their team. It was a matter, I think, putting 40 minutes together. And Coach Sindek does a tremendous job, has done it over time, of getting his guys in position. They found a way to get a win at home. And obviously when you get wins, your confidence goes way up.
And their big guy is leading the conference in field goal percentage. Is he just getting a lot of good looks?
Well, I think it's a combination, him posting deep, getting in there, and also those guys doing a great job of finding him off the ball screens when he's dived to the rim. It's not just a case of him getting putbacks. He's working to score those baskets.
Does this team need to be tougher? Where are they at in the toughness?
Well, I think that's the area we have to grow in, and that doesn't come overnight. I mean, that's certainly an area we're working on. We have to grow in, and we'll get there. Yes.
How does the team develop toughness?
For me, it's going through it. If you don't already have it in you, I mean, obviously everybody has some toughness at some point. It's just a matter of reaching for it when you need it the most. And normally, when you have adversity, you start searching for that. But again, if you haven't been in tough situations, going through certain things, and been accountable to go through certain things, it's always tough. And I think our guys are going through it right now, understanding what it takes to compete, to play as a team, to battle, to be tough. Because a lot of tough is not necessarily physical all the time; it's the mental part. And again, when you have guys that you're not used to being accounted for production on a consistent basis, now all of a sudden there's a demand. We need you in this position to be productive, to be accounted for, to defend, to rebound, to play hard, to score the basketball. I just think it's a matter of going through it.
The guys were saying you give them a quote every day, a daily quote, and I think they said that the word toughness is always.
It's always on there.
Is it always in the quote or under it or something?
Oh, it's always there. There it is, always
Is
there.
that it right there?
Yes, it's always there.
Just kind of at the end or
Always at the end.
always at the end?
I just think that's life. I mean, outside of basketball, there's life. You have to have a level of toughness somewhere, because at some point, even marriage, family relationships, you go through something. So there's a demand for toughness to fight through it. So again, a lot of my emphasis of the day is not necessarily basketball. Probably 65% is about life. Yeah.
The toughness, I mean, to put it on there, to make them see that word every day, is that part of trying to get them, the mental aspect?
Oh yeah, and they'll get it. They get it. I see guys that are getting it to this day. But again, you don't know something if you haven't been through something. And I think those guys are understanding. As they ask questions, they spend time, they want to be good. And that's the great thing about it. I enjoy coaching these guys because of their passion and willingness to learn and get better.
They're going through something right now. I mean, is it tough to keep them going through this and to being, the hardest working team you've seen, at least individually and all that, when the results aren't necessarily immediate?
No, because you're coaching a program. You're not coaching a day or a game. You're coaching a program. It becomes a way of life. So now all of a sudden you get them to the level, and they know no other way, mentally and physically. They understand this is what it takes to be a champion. This is what this program is about. Because, again, in order to be a champion, you have to go through it before you get to the championship. There's a fight to get to that point.
So is this about building an identity?
Every day. First day of practice, when I took the job, was building an identity. It doesn't, whether you win 15 games in a row, that's still who you are. It's a program, and it's a way of life.
Teams have generally finished well. 5-1, 8-1 the past few years. How do you get this group to finish the second half of the season?
I think doing the things they're doing now, but consistently, from top to bottom, start to finish of games, trusting each other, leaning on each other, understand this guy, he'll do his part. And I think that's the biggest key. And again, I've had teams that had to go through that. It's not a case of anybody being selfish, just have to do this. This is what I have to do. I have to do my part. And that's the biggest thing I always tell guys. You have to do your part. In order to demand it from somebody else, you have to be willing to do your part and do it at a high level.
You want someone from the outside, just kind of about the identity, someone from the outside or someone like me that's not there, every single day to watch you guys play. What do you want them to say or to see that identity at?
Well, that team plays hard, and I think they play together. Offensively, they share the ball. Defensively, they defend, they rebound, they play hard. They play as a team. And again, you can have a team game where a guy averages 20 points a game. You can have 6 guys average between 8 and 15. It doesn't matter, but you have to play as a team. You have to be – that team looks like a family out there.
Where did you kind of – is that from the Purdue days?
That's growing up. I mean, just my high school teams, you had great players. You had to share the ball, regardless of who scored what, but you had so many good players. But everybody had an opportunity to get a scholarship to go to college. And this is what we need to do to be successful. And I think just growing up, my high school coaches, middle school coaches, was always the best players in the area. And that's what it was about. Regardless of how many points you scored, how many minutes you played, it was a team, it was a family, because everybody has success. And you've been blessed with a certain gift. Whatever that gift is, utilize it to the best of your ability in order for our team to be successful.